Hey guys, how's it going? Okay, so I wanted to talk to you today about a little bit about how I learned to paint and you know um, the whole process of learning. Um, I didn't go to art school. I was lucky enough to find someone whose name is Jeff Watts um, teaching drawing classes. Drawings that I thought were great. Drawing better than anyone I'd ever seen before. So um, I took classes with him for almost like a year and a half, almost 2 years, and it was really anal. Learning how to draw with charcoal pencil. You had to sharpen it just right, like a spear. Super fine spear tip. I was okay at drawing like that, but I never really liked it, honestly. Um, and it was when, Jeff didn't teach us, unfortunately, painting. He kind of, we begged him, but he taught us one or two classes, and he taught a gouache class. But what he did teach us is painting with one color, right? And it was we used burnt umber, right? And it's kind of like it's called a lift out technique or pick out or monochromatic or whatever. But it's very similar to drawing, where um, the technical term would be open grisaille. Okay, so you're just using one color and you're using the paint very transparently, slowly building up paint, but the paint is never really that thick at all. It's very, very thin. Um, but you can use a brush and you can use Q-tips and kneaded erasers and lift out the paint really easy and put it back on. And you can do so much more than you can do with charcoal. You can really beat up the canvas or panel, and we would just use like gessoed MDF panels, and you could do so much more. And I liked it so much better than drawing. We used to draw on smooth newsprint, which was so sensitive, super thin, very um, the weather really had an effect on how the paper handled. If it was really cold, it would wrinkle. Just really anal. And so I really just moved away from drawing with charcoal and moved into drawing more with paint and learning how to draw really well with a brush. And for me, that was way better than learning how to draw with a pencil because I wanted to be a painter. I didn't want to be a good drawer. I wanted to paint. That was the goal always. So I started, with what Jeff taught us, which was with the burn umber, and then the Schmid book came out, the Richard Schmid book, and in there he did these oil paintings that look like Conte paintings, and same exact technique, same exact technique. The only twist was he would use warm and cool variations of reds in these paintings, right? So you got a vibration even though it was monochromatic. So I did hundreds of these paintings, and that's how I learned how to paint, doing those. And then from there, I slowly added, color and opacity. Um, you know, even from that stage, you do the chromatic like underpainting, basically it's real thin, and then you put the opaque, like you add white, and that's called closed grisaille. And you've seen those a lot. Or people do paintings of sculptures and things like that with them, or casts. But um, figure studies, all that kind of stuff. But it's a really good way to learn how to use the oil paint opaquely without worrying about muddying up the colors, right? You're just working for, value, composition, and things like that. Color's not an issue. So, um, slowly from there, I built up to color. But I wanted to just kind of show you some of my early oil paintings that are just they're drawings. They're just drawings. So and I've kept this one forever. It's just a copy of a Sorolla portrait. It's a picture in one of the Sorolla books I just copied, and I keep it because it almost went in the trash. like, I spent like 2 days on it or something, and I couldn't get it right. And then I finally got it, and I didn't give up. And because of that, it's kind of like a testament to not giving up and everything. So I kept it, and it's one of my better paintings. But you can really kind of see. I don't know how well you can see, but the warm and cool transitions on here. So with this, the Venetian red is the cooler, darker red, and the Terra Rosa is the warmer, more yellow red. So you can kind of see his cheek, the real Terra Rosa, and then in the darks, you can see it's more of a blue red. So what I would do is I would draw the whole thing out with Terra Rosa first, and then go back in with the Venetian red on top and darken up those values that I've drawn in. But it's one of my favorite paintings, and I've kept it for, I don't know how old this thing is, but probably at least 20 years, maybe something like that, 15, 20 years. So you don't have to just, draw with charcoal to get good at drawing. You can paint, you can use a brush, and I highly recommend, getting into actual oil painting as soon as possible, because you don't need to, even nowadays, they have so many very safe ways to paint with oil colors. There's water soluble oils where you're not using any solvents at all. It's just, it's basically like watercolor, but it's oil. So it's something that I highly recommend, and I don't see a lot of people talking about it too much. So I just wanted to kind of give you my little story and tell you, it's okay to jump into oil painting. Just keep it real minimal, and you're learning the tools of oil painting at the same time as learning how to draw with oil paint. And it's great because you're developing shortcuts and shorthands along the same time, because it's all about big shapes and big placement. It's not the details. I know you probably heard that a million times, but it's not. It's the big light and dark pattern that makes something look like something, and not the the freckles and the little pores. So I hope that helps. All right.